Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched the reunion finale of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
It's officially over.
Yes. One more season in the bag.
Yes.
Or in the can?
6. In the can.
In the bag.
Either way.
In the can bag.
It's done. Bag of cans.
Yeah. Recycling it. If you're just finding us, thank you. We are two husbands, each other's husbands, and we watch The Real Housewives, and we talk about it. Please like and subscribe wherever you found us. It does help us know what's going on and helps others know that, we kind of know what we're talking about. I like to think that we do.
Yeah. So, that lady at BravoCon said we did.
She did indeed. Were you listening to her first episode recently?
No, but it's always a
I know that's always the thing.
Yeah.
I was actually listening to it the other day because in the car, I tried finding episodes and it was because I haven't listened to them all in the car, it keeps listing them in order from season 1 forward. I'm like, this is a lot of shows to go through. So, but yeah, if you haven't listened to our first episode,
Todd should listen to it.
Yeah, Todd would. Todd probably went out there and listened to every podcast.
I think that was the next step. If you're going from Reddit to Twitter to Instagram, the next stop is what are they saying to me about me on podcasts?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He probably would have chose the top 10 podcasts, of which we don't quite make that.
Yeah.
But we're in the top 200. Which is good.
It's true. It's true.
It's very, very true. So this was actually, as far as reunions go, this is, I think, one of my more favorite reunions episodes, just because, I think, they don't, address everything. I got some satisfaction. Everyone seemed to take some sort of accountability, even if it wasn't the full amount of accountability. I really enjoyed it.
It was a lot less shouting, too, so you could, there were times when you couldn't hear what one was saying because they did the split screen and they're just yakking and it's tennis.
Right.
But it was a bit calmer at points and there was more time to sit in what someone was saying.
Right.
And, certain people shut up and that was great. But yeah.
And I just also really liked that they all kind of admitted, the fourth wall is broken numerous times.
Yeah.
They all kind of admitted that they all had a hand and they were a little messy here and there. And it wasn't just this constant, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's everyone was what we're talking about. Okay, I do.
Yes.
So it was nice.
Yeah, I was I said this because I was mad at you. So,
right.
Yeah, which is nice to say. I was getting a dig in because I felt you were getting a dig in at me.
Right. And it makes me wonder, if every reunion for every, franchise was like this, where people are just yeah, I did that. And, they could actually talk about.
It's a little disarming, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't say, oh, you're a liar. It's nope, I'm admitting I full on called you an alcoholic because I was pissed at you.
Right.
Well, there we go.
Right.
Case closed.
So the reunion did start out with the rehash of Britani walking off stage.
Storming out, not a victim.
Again, just don't call me a victim. And then her coming back on stage while they had moved on and just completely derailing the conversation.
Meredith, I cried with you. I cried my eyes out. We're moving on. Done. Next. And he's thanks.
Even everyone was what? Okay. And then Whitney's yeah, I liked what we were talking about before.
Yes.
So...
at the end of the day, Meredith is never going to completely own it, obviously. And so they got to, as Andy said at the end, so anything else you want to take accountability for? No, I felt like I did. Well, okay.
Right.
Even he was just, I'm not going to get anywhere. That's why you're in second seat. Because first seat, you got to admit to some things. And she wasn't going to do that.
But wait, did Lisa admit to anything?
Somewhat more so. She was more vulnerable than Meredith.
Yeah. I forgot as I was reaching for my wine right here, I was going to plug that we're going to do the crossover with We Wine Whenever.
Yes.
About the Traders episode coming up.
Yes.
So I figured now is a good time because people only listen to the first 10 minutes of our show. So just hey, look. Find We Wine Whenever. They're another podcast. They cover all the reality shows
on Bravo.
And we're going to be joining them coming up for an episode of The Traders.
Episode 7 of Traders.
Which we really enjoy The Traders, but we could never bring it on. We could never talk about it ourselves.
It's a lot. I mean, there are housewives on it, so it does relate to what we do, but it's so much, and even like taking notes on that would be like, wait, what happened? And
I think that's where it is. Like, I think Traders requires actual recap because you need to take notes and then this happened and this happened because there's so much strategy and kind of back and forth with it.
Or even if the challenge is like so-and-so considered going for the shield.
Yeah. So we're if we just rely on ourselves to, remember what happened, we're like, well, wow, Colton's weird. That's weird. That would be our takeaway. So,
he's got those crazy eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sorry about the derailing. Back to the Salt Lake.
What were we saying?
Britani came back.
Right. So yes, they got as far as they're going to get with Meredith.
Yeah.
And so there it is. And she was venting to a friend. She's sticking to that story.
She'd been having a drink.
A drink. Yes. Yeah. I'm surprised she admitted that.
Yeah.
She denied, even despite Meredith's pleas, to go further with. So I think everyone just was like, okay, this is what it is. I
think that's when Whitney spoke up and was like, I'm sorry that I, called you an alcoholic.
That was really good.
Yeah.
To say, I got mad at you calling me a liar and I called you an alcoholic and it was horrible and I want to admit that. And I felt it was a very sincere apology. Yeah. I think Whitney gets knocked a lot of times for people think she's being messy or she's not telling the truth or really sharing.
Or just being performative.
Yeah. Yeah. And making fun of her journey and whatever. But I think she does sincerely mean things. And, I felt, because people were like, oh, she has nothing to do. She's at the end of the couch. But I felt she really had a moment and she really not inserted herself and stuff, but she actually stuck up and was talking about what they were talking about, not just derailing,
right. And I feel it was very fair of her. And I think on one hand, yes, she's kind of slipping a dig in, but I think also, which is the reason why she was bringing it up in the first place, is that the behavior she saw was similar to what she'd see from her experience with addiction of people with benzos and alcohol. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it raised flags for her. So yes, that does sneak in one more dig at Meredith, but it also is but it's not, I'm not doing it just to be a bitch. I'm doing it because this resonates with me and I'm actually worried or concerned.
And then she apologized for labeling her, she shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And then we flip to Meredith, being called out for calling people pill poppers in her confessional, and she acted as if she didn't say that or she didn't recall saying that.
And he's like, no, they're telling me in my ear. Yeah. You said it 3 times, or that was the liar thing, but still.
No, it was I think it was the same thing, in your confessional or something. Yeah.
It was about the liar when she's at the
right.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Yes,
that's when he's like, no, they just told me in my ear.
Yes.
But it is along the same lines that everyone knew, you said this, she had that whole bespoke sort of confessional where she was just saying, I could talk about what the pills they take. And that's what I liked about this episode is that Heather was like, yeah, what pills are you talking about? Are you talking about the and she would name them. And I know there was probably more that they were doing, but that they've agreed not.
Or when Meredith trying to spit in as, you gave me drugs, we gave you an Ambien, we weren't giving you heroin.
Right.
We weren't shooting up in the bathroom.
Right. And also it's not we would just been here, take this. It's fun. It's you probably asked.
It wasn't a party drug. Right. We were on a 10-hour plane ride to the Bahamas that season 4. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's again, where I like that there was enough back and forth, and enough direct accusations of people and people owning up to no, that happened, but this is what the context was. Mm-hmm. So
continue on the Meredith track. I feel it's easier that way.
Yeah.
When it was so funny with the whole liar thing, when Britani pointed out that she said that, and she said, oh, well, Brittany's not reliable. And then Annie goes, they're saying it in my ear that you did it. Such an example of her going for the weakest person and saying, don't listen to her. She's a bigot and she's a liar. Mm-hmm. And then I love that production said, no, you actually did it. Which then leads to later on when she gets called out for throwing production under the bus.
Right.
Which is so interesting and so makes sense that she does it. I said this to you earlier, she's trying to move the pieces around, but she's really bad at it.
I mean,
in my opinion.
Right. I wouldn't say she's really, I don't know what it would take to be good at it, but I just
Beat
think
Giselle. Be LVP.
I don't think Giselle's even that good at it. But I would say they'd be better at it for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's the messiness of, I'm going to say one thing to you off camera and then something else on camera. I'm trying to control this narrative about myself.
Giselle's really good at that. You're right. Okay.
Yes. Put myself in the greatest light because I don't really have a lot going on, at least that I want to talk about on camera. So I'm going to just try to manipulate other people and deflect and it's a messy game of chess. And that's what I'm saying. She's not good at this.
I feel like maybe she's just not committed to it because I think there's so much of what I think has rubbed me and I think a lot of people wrong this season is that she just doesn't want to commit to the part.
And you know why she's not committed? Because she's not a Virgo like Giselle and LVP.
Okay.
Virgo's doing better.
Look, Virgo. Why don't you
you have a plan and a spreadsheet.
Get your color-coordinated binder, get that together, get a calendar with multiple colored pens.
Yes.
No, I just don't think she's committed to it because I think she feels she's above all of it, and that somehow I think she feels she's smarter than everyone else.
She does.
As though I don't need to sink to that level, but she is totally sinking that level, and that's what I liked about the conversation and how Bronwyn just was like, no, we're going to talk about this.
Yes.
You're going to come from no. And we can all tell that it's happened all season long. We're not dummies. Or all 5-6 seasons long. Is that she does this whole lawyer thing where, well, I never asked you to tell me what happened at lunch. But no, you asked how my lunch was, as though that's not loaded with, tell me what happened at lunch.
Right. You weren't saying, did you have a caprese salad?
Right.
How was the wine?
Yeah.
You wanted to know the details of the lunch, what was said about you.
Right.
And you wanted Bronwyn to do the work for you.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so insulting to turn around later. Well, I never asked. I didn't interrogate you about lunch. It's like, no, but you were really fucking hoping that I would tell you every detail about lunch.
Yes, and that's why Bronwyn was so fed up. Like, really, Meredith, we're gonna do this?
Yeah.
She was at her wit's end, and I love how Bronwyn. It's so great because she's so calm and so direct and collected. She doesn't stutter. She doesn't, misspeak. She is just zoned in. I have something to say, and I'm going to say it to you. You can try to yell over me. You can try to deflect, but I'm going to keep going because I have the truth on my side, basically. And it's just so, I think it must be unnerving because Meredith can't, she knows that Britani will be emotional and storm offset. Heather will get emotional and Whitney, but Bronwyn is very calm and saying, no, Meredith, that's not what happened. And you're not going to gaslight me.
Right.
And I love that because more people need to do that with Meredith. Just stay on track. If Britani had just said, no, that's not what happened. That's not my intention. Although I'm not really trying to take up for Britani this episode because we did a lot last episode. I don't know where she stands on that whole nail tech thing. That's a whole other thing. But if she had not stormed off, if Heather hadn't taken the bait and said, fuck you, we're not friends anymore, then you lose the ground.
Right,
and
right.
Bronwyn stands her ground. And I think that's great.
I feel like I need to apologize slightly for what I said about Andy last episode because I was really offended that he was trying to save Meredith's bacon after the last reunion.
Give her a lot of space.
Give her a lot of space for and asked a lot of questions about the anti-Semitism remarks, blah, blah, when he didn't do that for the Orange County reunion at all.
Yeah.
But then when we picked this episode up, he really did then follow up with a lot of logical questions of which the first and foremost was, what if she just doesn't like you?
Yeah.
What if it has nothing to do with you being Jewish? And it's just you've been a bitch to her, It's basically what he was saying.
Yeah. Sorry, no offense, but maybe she doesn't care for you.
Right.
Or she couldn't give him examples of Britani perhaps treating her differently because she's Jewish.
Right. But I do like that she's still, and this again, you stand in your truth. Meredith was just no, but she didn't, she reacted poorly when I mentioned it, and she didn't
or really Meredith was trying to paint it as she kept coming for me out of nowhere.
Right.
Starting from the beginning of the season, and she was trying to make you connect the dots to, it's because I'm Jewish. And I just don't think that's the case. Although I will say that I think what you said last episode was valid in comparison to the Orange County thing.
Oh, for sure.
And we couldn't have known this was coming.
No.
But it was very valid because Yeah.
It felt icky, but now I am a little bit happier to see that like he at least wasn't just like on Meredith's side and was just like exploring all the options there, which I would have liked to have seen any of that for Orange County, but I'm at least glad that it wasn't just like a one note on this, that he was trying to get both sides of the story.
Right. While we're here, let's take a little square, a little circle.
Good time.
Yes.
We just learned today
that Gretchen is not coming back to OC next season.
Should we high five? Should we do that? Okay, all right.
We had nothing to do with it, and we don't.
We
don't call for anyone losing their job. We wouldn't want the same to happen to us.
So we're gonna get into this about how friends, in my mind, don't have a job to lose.
What do you mean? It's a contract. They're not doing that for like a stick of gum.
They're not, I know, but they're like, I don't think there's any expectation that a friend should come back from season to season. I think if you are holding a peach or you're holding an orange, whatever the case may be, I think you have that expectation that I'm going to come back. Like I was a star of this show. You know what I mean?
I feel like Marla Hampton would beg to differ because she was friend in a lot.
But then she finally got the peach.
Right, for 2 seasons.
But the thing is, like, I think that you really have to work to come back. I don't think there's any expectation that you're going to come back.
No, not at all. But I think,
and I know the same is true about,
orange holders,
whatever,
full-time people. Yes.
But to me, like the idea that like, I just think for me there's a difference that like a friend didn't get asked back because they didn't want her back,
Well, that's to say that for anybody. Like everyone is up for grabs. That's why it's a renegotiation and you get a contract.
If I put it this way, because we always promised that we'd never call for anyone to be fired.
Right.
When I put it this way, I can very, very much put myself in the mental thing of being like, well, we never asked for her to be fired because she never had a job to be fired from.
But she did have a job. She had a job. It's even if it's just a friend of.
Well, I'm glad she doesn't have it anymore.
Again, we didn't advocate for it, but we're not upset that she is not coming back given her behavior.
Though we need to bring up the fact that Vicki Gunvalson has just been caught with some really bad behavior
online, liking certain things.
With her support of ICE these days.
And she liked to tweet or something about when it was said, was it the president said something or did something about like June wasn't going to be, there's she liked something about June not being
Pride Month. Yeah, it was going to be Veterans Month, which people pointed out all of November is actually Veterans Month.
Yeah, it's because Veterans Day is there. Yeah.
Yes. But I mean,
the summation is Vicki is problematic.
Yes,
we all know this.
And that's the thing, though, is that, and I don't think I would have had a problem with Gretchen being problematic if people didn't act like it was such a fucking surprise.
That's what it was. It was the fact that it couldn't just be, I had these opinions and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was, she was given so much space and so much time, again, with her dossier to prove that she is a good person. And I didn't think that was, and also to make us think that we didn't see what we saw.
Right.
We felt like we were gaslit at that reunion.
Right. And that's the difference, I think, again, what we're talking about with this Salt Lake reunion and this is that people are calling things what they are. Like if they'd gone to that Orange County reunion and just said like, we know she's like this and not pretended, then I think we would have been
But viewers people did, Tamara and Katie to a certain extent.
Right.
But everyone else was just, we feel so bad. She was so ganged up on. And like, let's give her a chance to express herself. And she never said anything about that to my family.
Heather. Yeah.
Because it's all about you and your family.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to, with a lot of the problem with, social progress is the whole model minority and the whole situation of, well, they never treated me poorly. And it's like, well, yeah, that's great that you never had a bad experience.
Right.
But the leopard's going to come eat your face eventually. Yeah. Don't worry. So...
It's true. Like, well, I never thought that leopard is a leopard.
Yeah, I never thought the leopard would eat my face.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's what leopards do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I'm glad that we did promise that we would not watch OC if Gretchen came back, which I really feel like we would have held to.
Yeah, because it just would have felt really gross. Like, not even take away the Katie not coming back of it all, just having her on there after everything that happened in the reunion and just knowing who she is.
Right.
So then people could pivot to say, well, what about Vicky? I don't know.
I mean, if we're gonna put on our blinders when it comes to housewife politics, Vicky's an OG. She's been there for 20 years, and we've seen her evolve through time. If we can, or not, but we've seen time evolve around her. I guess. I guess you could forgive it for at least one season, or at least see how it goes. Maybe she's different now. Who knows? She's not, but maybe she is. So
the thing is, like, there's so many problematic housewives, you know, and you hear things, and even with like the Salt Lake ladies, and it's just that's just, I don't know. It is. I don't know if it's a blind eye or just not looking that closely or what have you, but it's
a hard thing to reconcile. And, you know, I think, I don't know, this is so apologist in the sense that, like, you know, if they're not using their platform to hurt, I think it's easier for me to turn a blind eye. Like, they're not like outwardly advocating for bad things. They're not openly supporting these things. Like, if they're following a MAGA website, like, it's not a good look. But if they're out there like, yeah, get the trans people, that's not good. I don't like it either way, but I just think that, like, in this world, I don't know, it kind of makes it a little bit closer to your nutty aunt versus your hateful racist neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I could at least talk to my nutty aunt and be like, you know, are you sure you've thought this through?
I think it's your actions, and like what you, I don't know, because we have friends who we know are very conservative, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to reconcile, and you kind of have to take it by case, person by person, and sometimes it would be so easy just to just wipe the slate clean of your life, wipe the slate clean of people from your life who are in that headspace of believing things or supporting things that go against who we are, you know. But it's not always that easy,
right?
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you're saying the thing that I think most Americans are saying right now is, like, how do you, like, not everyone is absolutely evil. I mean, there are definitely people that are absolutely evil.
Yes.
There's some people out there that, like, are supporting that, and it's such a hard thing to, like, to dig into. But it's like, you just want to hope above all hope that there's goodness in people and that you can get through, or that they will somehow see. But it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
And why we're worrying about it with Housewives, but eventually, but I think where it comes down to is eventually we all do have to draw a line.
Yes, and I think she was our line.
Yeah.
And fully, I couldn't have imagined just coming up here and saying, like, wow, that thing Gretchen said, that was so annoying. No, it'd be like, no, I don't agree with this person on several levels. Why am I even watching this show? It would have taken the fun out of it. Agreed. As it is, there are people who are still left over that
I was about to say there are other people you wanted to not come back as well, but we weren't going to openly say that.
So I don't know. I don't know how the season is going to go. I don't know how it's going to play with, like, Vicky being there, how that's going to shake the table, how they can resolve and move forward. I don't know how Tamara fits in. You know, like,
I honestly thought that they were going to do, like, just double down on conservative housewives and just make it the show for conservative viewers.
If that's true, they would have brought back Kelly Dodd.
Well, I mean, they got to walk. They got to let Gretchen walk before Kelly can run.
Yes.
So, and they chose not to. So
yeah, I think too they might have thought, you know, we're letting go of Katie. We have to, like, balance out by letting go of Gretchen. You know, not like it was either they both go.
Oh.
It had to be they both go. It couldn't be like one comes back and one doesn't.
Right.
So you're kind of satisfying two different fan bases.
Yeah. And you know what it probably all comes down to is probably they had to afford Vicky. So it probably has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with finance, which is just like politics.
It was said that Vicky took someone's orange by coming back. There's only so much money.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But it's funny because Gretchen and Katie would have been the cheapest. Because, like, Katie was only a second season and Gretchen was only a friend.
Right.
So it's people like Tamra, who's expensive. Heather's expensive.
It just means Jen didn't get a raise. That's all that means. And Ryan will appear.
They gave Jen a coupon and she was happy.
Gave her a Groupon. What are you talking about?
Does that still exist?
I think Groupon does still exist.
I haven't heard Groupon in forever.
Meanwhile, back in Salt Lake, I don't even know where to go from there. That was a good detour, by the way.
Yeah.
And also, given our earlier kerfuffle before the podcast, I'm glad we're laughing now. So we had a little kerfuffle before the podcast.
It was a kerfuff, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, aren't we sweet? You want to slap me now?
No. No, that's abuse.
Not when it's for fun. So,
I feel like we
well, we talked a lot about the Meredith
Meredith,
stuff.
yeah.
Bronwyn stuff is what we haven't talked on. This is going to be a long one, so just buckle up.
Yeah. As Heather would say, buckle up, Meredith.
Yeah. Bronwyn's stuff came about in, you were really affected by it. No, I wouldn't say affected, but you were touched by it.
I was. I also, we knew it was coming for like weeks. This was announced once they filmed this. So it wasn't a surprise.
But I didn't expect them to give it so much reverence. Like,
Right.
there was no music playing. It was just
very
dead silent.
Well, after so much talk, so much loudness in the past two episodes, I'm glad it was a quiet moment. For her to say, I asked for the separation, we were growing apart. I saw things. The show didn't break us up. I was glad she said that.
Mm-hmm.
We only put a spotlight on the cracks.
Like everyone who goes on to shows.
Right. Some people will say like, oh, the show broke us up. And it's like, no, you already had a fractured relationship before the show. It only amplifies it.
Right.
And it brings everyone else into it.
Right.
Which isn't helpful. As she said, it got us to this place faster than if we hadn't done the show. But it was going to happen regardless. So I'm glad that she owned all of that and really, but also said, I care about Todd a lot. I don't want him hurt. It's just that it just wasn't working. I like that she said, I maybe wasn't really considering having an open relationship, but I was trying everything I can to save the situation.
I was doing things that were uncharacteristic of myself.
Right.
Just in hopes that would resonate or somehow. Yeah.
Right. So, and then the biggest thing is that him doing a deep dive into Housewives, I was like,
when she said he went back and watched the first season, I thought she meant their first season. But she's like, he went all the way back to season 1 and watched every episode. And then she's like, he got a Twitter account, went on Reddit. And
did he take a sabbatical? Because that's a lot of time, a lot of hours to put in. And then to get the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Reddit. Which, if I was Reddit, I'm like, is Todd trolling on here?
I wonder if he got a burner account.
I think he did.
He's on there as Meredith's Lover 101 or something.
Marxist 05.
Barlow fan, baby gorgeouser. Okay.
Wendy's tendies.
But if if anything screams of autistic behavior, does that not just shout hello, I'm on the spectrum?
Well, I'm not trying to diagnose Todd.
No. Yeah, put that hair over your ear.
It could be very well. It could be.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's very, very, very.
It was. He committed. If what she said is true, he committed.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And also for someone who, it does make some sense that before that he was very much rooted in his own opinions and wasn't paying attention to the actual mechanics of the show and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was very easy for him why would you want to hang around with these women?
Or why are you talking about me?
Right, exactly. So for him to go in and do that, but that has to be some instant sort of reading the comments bullshit. Or
yes,
we've had 2 or 3 haters come into our comments, and as much as I'm whatever, I'm all day long I'm maybe they have a point. So it's I can't imagine if you were getting as much hate as Todd got and you read all of that at once. That would just be what are the floodgates?
Yeah,
drinking from a fire hose.
There's so much there to read because there's so much anti-Todd stuff. Just like with Muzzy reading stuff, there's so much there. And,
you give me a good opportunity to say this. So I do feel that the gravity of which, and this is, maybe I'm a jerk. I don't feel like the gravity of this situation. I know it's real for Bronwyn and it's real for what's, for them.
Yeah.
But I think as a viewer, I don't feel like we were on this journey with them enough to have this much kind of this
The Todd stuff or the Muzzy stuff?
both of it, all of
Okay,
it.
okay.
I just don't think there's enough reason for pause of oh, this is heavy. Oh, because I know that yes, as human beings, it is heavy, but an entertainment value, this was not the focus of the show. So to give it this much God, should we really be talking about it? It's yeah, we should be.
Well, it's heavy for this character of Bronwyn,
Right.
who we now care about. Who
I get
is
it.
Yeah. But I think that's why, because at the end of the day, as a viewer, we should care most about her and how she's
Right.
affected by this. And so I think it's heavy because separation announcements come out after the reunion.
Usually, true.
It's never, no one quits during the show. No
Except
one,
Lisa Rinna. No.
almost.
Almost. It was Garcelle who did it.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
But no one does these major things until after,
Right.
and usually it's because for some sort of damage control or to control the narrative.
Right.
So just to be very open.
Yeah.
And through Andy, I'm obviously through Andy, 'cause
Right.
he had no idea. He had a whole list of questions, and then he might as well thrown that card out.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, basically, and let her just tell her story.
But when she started talking about how, all the hate that came at Muzzy
Yeah.
and everything, it's I never really stopped to think about that part of it because, honestly, her mom was being kind of harsh. I mean, in reality, I feel that she was being harsh.
Mhm.
And so it was, I think the interesting part of that conversation was her saying that, she was trying to still defend her position and things, and people just took it the wrong way.
I like that Heather clocked it of it's more so about she wants to establish herself as a good Mormon.
Right.
And despite having this fallen daughter who got pregnant at BYU
Right.
and, basically took all that down.
Yeah.
So I'm still a good Mormon. I still, and by calling her out harshly, she could still establish that.
Right.
And
that was interesting to see as well.
Yeah, no, it was good that Heather knew exactly. There are things when it comes to Mormonism, don't try Heather Gay. She knows it all. She knows it frontwards and backwards.
Right.
And so that's
But
her-
still, I do think that there's a little bit too much gravitas, so to speak,
I see what you're
put on Muzzy and Todd and the whole thing. Because at the end of the day, we didn't really get a lot. We got more than we have in the past, but it wasn't dramatic things happened through the course of the season between her and Todd and
Right.
her and her mom.
It seems a lot of it happened off camera, especially with Todd. That
Right.
she heard that he was looking at pictures on his phone on the plane, or he said this.
I do like that the cherry came up in different perspectives. People are I thought it was cute. Was it Mary? I thought it was
if
cute.
I was cute, and everyone else, no, it wasn't cute.
No, that was awful. The fact that he said you said that's my favorite part, and he just eats it.
And then Lisa saying he's just being a guy.
I got what Lisa was saying with that,
Yeah,
but I don't think.
You know how men do.
Yeah, that's what it was. Man, am I right? It just seemed too 1992 standard.
Don't get me
comedian.
started.
Right. And I don't think that that's, as a man, I can't say as a straight man because I'm not, but I don't want anyone just to chalk up my behavior to that's how men do, That's just so dumb. Even as a gay man, that's how the gays do it.
Right.
No, hold
That
me.
stereotype of guys.
Right. Hold me to the same standard you would your best friend, and don't let me get away with just being a dick because, and which, I did hang my hat on for most of my 20s. Look at me, I'm gay, I'm saying wacky stuff, but.
That was your persona.
Yeah, and we have friends who still have not left that persona.
No.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the truth. That's a big thing with a lot of gay men is.
Well, because they didn't have that chance to be gay
Right.
from an early age, and so it's a little Peter Pan, it's Arrested Development, it's all the cliches.
above. But after comes a point when you have your true friends and around you, you can be yourself, and you don't have to keep doing up with.
Performing.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to keep up with the Ashley Darby. I'm saying sex words.
I'm saying sex words.
So
That
Anyway.
sounds horrible when you say sex words. I was, yes, not touched, but I was, when Whitney got emotional, it strangely made me emotional. And when she said, you know, basically, I'm the Todd in the situation, I feel like I keep fucking up. And, you know, Justin is an amazing husband, and yet we still have these problems. And she feels like it's my fault. And it was nice when Mary said, no, that's not true. And she said, yeah, you know, you don't see, like, but that's how I feel that's true. And when she had to leave, and that's why I almost got teary when she was breaking down with Justin. He said, we're going to be okay. You know, it's okay. And you got to wonder if she's thinking, are we, you know, is this going to, you know,
Right.
they want it to so badly, but if it keeps going wrong, then maybe it won't.
Well,
They won't last. I don't know. I hope they do. I think,
I think,
you know, from
yeah.
what I know of them from,
And where we've seen them in public and everything, they
yeah, they
like
seem like, you know, great people and like great
Right.
family. And,
they seem to be on a similar page. It may not be the same page, but they're at least, you know, in the same book.
but I think, yeah, but I, not of Mormon. What I think though, there's so much we're not seeing, and I hope that she comes back next season, because people are always saying, oh, it's a question mark, and, you know, into the couch, whatever. But I think she really proved herself at this episode and showed a lot of vulnerability. And I just hope that we get to see more of, like, why do you feel like you're a fuck up? You know, like, why, you know?
The one thing I do worry, because especially when, like, you think about the opposite side of the Todd and Bronwyn coin, like, if Whitney's feeling like the Todd in this, and like we're so quick to say that Todd is not aware of what's going on or whatever, it does make me, like, if you take that from Whitney's perspective and she's like saying things or doing things that are maybe not sensitive to Justin, that, like, it makes me wonder, like, is she actually doing something wrong, or is he just saying something's wrong and she's just not quick to pick up on it? Like, I think maybe she's putting more on it than it needs to be.
Well, that's when she's saying, you know, we had to learn how to communicate,
Right.
which we've gotten better about. So I think maybe, yeah, it's misunderstanding or miscommunicating.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think and it's definitely easy to say that, like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I would hate for her to feel like she's the fuck up because Justin's just very strongly telling her she's fucking up, or saying, like, I keep telling you these things, I keep telling you how I feel, and you're not registering it. Like, it'd be easy to feel like, oh, I'm the problem there, and I just hope that that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't think he's gaslighting her. He's, like, blaming her. I just think
I don't think it's anything negative.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, they're same book, but definitely
Right.
different pages.
But the thing is, like, they want to work at it, and, like,
Yeah, I think the fact that they're committed to it, and
Right.
I'm assuming they're in therapy or doing.
I felt really bad for Bronwyn when she was asked point blank, like, do you think there's like at that point, I don't know. I feel like she's already, no, I've pushed that boulder down the hill, and I'm going to watch that gain speed and, you know, roll up.
Stop it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just things are going to go where they go. And not to say that you can't stop things from happening if you really, truly wanted them to stop. But oftentimes, like, especially with a breakup, especially, you know, for a long-term situation, like, just getting the words out there for a lot of people, that's the first step.
Yeah.
You know,
I also thought it was sad that she said that he didn't understand basically why this was happening, you know, and
see, that's the sort of thing that makes me a little suspicious that, like, she's using this as an excuse. And I hate saying that, I really do. But they do say it about a lot of housewives, that, like, they come on these shows.
Oh, to break up. Yeah.
Knowing that it's going to cause a problem, or knowing that, like, or foreseeing I'm going to get all this agency and feel differently, and then I'm not going to be my same self, and it's going to lead me to, you know.
Right. Like, I'm just speeding it along.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that I kind of felt like, I feel like she's kind of doing. I hate saying it.
I don't think it's that. So I know you're not making it that she's doing it in a nefarious way, but I don't know if she's consciously doing it. Maybe unconsciously she could be doing it. I think there's still a lot of love and respect for Todd, but she realizes that they're not in the same space they were years ago when they first started.
Right.
And, you know, yeah, I think that's where she said, you know, we got to see where it goes. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
I mean, a lot of reason I'm saying that, just mainly is, out of my previous relationship, like it took me a long time to be able to build the strength. And it's just the sort of thing. And I feel for anyone who's unhappy in a relationship is that like you really are choosing to do the most harm to yourself that you could possibly do, because like, short of physical harm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like your life is fine. Nothing's really, really wrong with your life. It's just not as good as it could be. And so for you to look across at your partner and be like, I don't want this anymore, like that's a really big decision to make. And so like, I really don't see a world where people do that lightly. And so then when this is happening to someone like Bronwyn, I'm just like, there's got to be a reason. Like this is really what she wants to have happen, because there's no way you make that decision lightly.
Yeah, no, I think it just for many reasons.
Yeah,
just the longevity of the relationship, and the love that's still there. But just because it's two things can be true at the same time. I love him so much, but we're just not right for each other anymore.
Right. Right.
So
I also need to get. This is not. I'm not talking about you at all. I don't need our haters causing shit. That's all.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have kerfuffles with you if I didn't love you.
Exactly. We'd be like, I don't care.
Also, I love that we call them kerfuffles.
Kerfuffed.
Because we're not actually fighting. It's just.
It's not. Yeah, because you know why? Just in general, we don't say things to each other to purposely hurt the other person.
Right.
It's not like I'm trying to win this. You're an alcoholic. You're a pill popper.
I mean, these things are true, right? I know. I'll do better.
I think if you're in a fight with your partner, husband, whatever, and you're trying to hurt them and say the worst things to get under their skin.
Well, now I want to know what you're holding back when we're having kerfuffles.
I am not. I'm saying like that would be really mean-spirited,
right?
And like that's not fighting fair,
right?
You're just trying to you're trying to win, and at the end of the day, what are you winning? Oh, I got you. I made you cry.
I'm so much better than you. Yeah.
At this fighting,
right? No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Very true. Was there anything left, really? I know we're probably missing so much stuff. Like we missed the Potomac episode that they sang. We really do got to start taking
and Giselle
better
got
notes.
The power.
Oh, God.
So funny. I'm a rapper. No, speaking of relationships, Lisa.
Oh.
And John. So this is when we place where I say, I wish they would have just let her talk it out. When she was trying to express her feelings, and they're like, da-da-da, da-da-da, like all of them, Mary, Heather, Bronwyn, just shut up and let her say what she's going to say. Because then I'm always thinking about people who have the other opinion for me, are going to say, look, they won't even let Lisa express herself. They can't stop jumping in. And like, in this spot, it's true. Let Lisa just express what she's going to say, and then we can move on. She wants to tell us her feelings for once, or her version of her feelings.
Well, this just like you're trying to placate Lisa. Like you really aren't interested in what she has to say.
Well, it's just going to be the same old, but I just wanted her to say it and just so we can move on.
Okay.
Because when she said it's falling on deaf ears, I'm like, she's kind of right. Because they're trying to basically say, tell her how she's feeling or how she should express how she's feeling. Just let her get it out. Like don't interrupt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But because I felt like those tears about John were real, as opposed to when she tried to deflect from the Meredith stuff earlier on in the episode.
Right, absolutely.
And so I just wanted her to just work through this, and they wouldn't let her. So that didn't get resolved,
Well, when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm sure that her feelings about John are real, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that with the women, she just is completely playing up and not actually feeling. And again, I just think, given the candid nature of so many conversations in this last episode, I just wish they were all like that.
You know what I think it was? It was wanted her, similar to what we get to the Meredith stuff with production. They wanted Lisa because she was saying she hated what John said because it basically made her look bad on camera. And she said, I would never do that to you. And they were saying, we should just let it happen. we're here to share our lives. You can't just dictate like what he says and the best light that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they were trying to say. I just think they should just let her say her piece and then say it.
Right.
Because by interrupting her, nothing got accomplished.
What was I still don't even know what she said to Andy when she said, "Oh, you're gonna like this."
The intake.
The intake.
I'm learning. I need to listen.
Okay.
And take in what's being said to me and digest it rather than just react.
Even though we rewound it, I think we both thought she said
cake. I thought she was making a metaphor.
Yeah, and I was like, okay,
or,
cake? What?
Like layers?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does.
Intake.
Yeah.
So
you brought up Meredith and the production bus throwing. Did we already touch on that earlier? Or did we touch on it again?
Oh, we did. Did we touch on that?
We talked, I thought, Meredith to pieces.
I don't think we talked about that point. Well, we did. Whitney trying to look. Yeah. I can't remember. We've talked about so much.
Oh, I love that it happens to you. It's worth mentioning again for sure, because like the whole idea that Meredith, yeah, we did talk about it because Meredith like was trying to control and
chess piece.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes.
But it is still just kind of.
Oh, I think what we didn't say is the frustration ladies have is that Meredith isn't being real.
Right.
And it's probably production's frustration with her as well. And she's just taking it as, you're all against me and you're all trying to like tell me how I should feel. And, you know, you're not letting me, you know, I can't say anything. And she just won't be real.
It was absolute bullshit that like everyone was like, you be nice to production, like the Whitney and Mary. Yeah, our fine friends in production. It's just like, okay, all right. But I have to imagine though that, like it or not, that, you know, I don't for 1 minute believe that a bad edit doesn't exist, because if you're spending your entire airtime whining and complaining about production and you're saying it and they can't put that on there, they're going to find a way to give you a bad edit. They're going to find a way to put in there that you're, you know, sour grapes about what's going on.
But that's all you're giving them though. If you're just like your entire being that season is sour grapes, what else can they show? So it's not necessarily a bad edit. It's just that you're not giving them anything else to work with.
That's true too.
So,
but I would also do my very, very best to be like, oh, you think you're getting a bad edit? Let me show you a bad edit.
Well, they're very quick to show her talking negatively about production when Whitney brought up her talking negatively about production.
Yeah. So. But that's someone, again, I don't think Meredith's going to come back. Unless they offer her a sack of money, I don't feel like she's going to come back.
I feel like Meredith could be good as a friend of.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But if she's not really, truly have ties to Salt Lake, then would she even be there to be a friend of? I mean, I guess she could come back.
I mean, unless she feels that she's done all she can with this platform, and she's definitely used it to promote her brands and elevate herself and become.
I mean, I want to take a bath and eat caviar and, you know,
listen to her DJ set,
spin some discs.
Yeah. And have people know you like Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
You know, so she's gotten. What more does she need to do? Also, what more does she want to share or be revealed that she doesn't want revealed?
Right, that's true.
So if you won't want another plane incident, then don't get on the plane.
I think the whole Mother's Day thing was a good example of everyone being like, it was just, you were using that to cop out. You wanted, and Whitney's the one who rode that the hardest. It's like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to talk to your kid, but the fact that you had to take the call then makes it so that we can't get back to what we were talking to. You totally get to escape from taking accountability.
You derailed the conversation, and it's not about that. Now it's about, Brooks, honey, they're mad at me because I'm talking to you.
And then I think even Whitney was like, and then when we try to bring it back, you weaponize that against us, that somehow we're making a big deal about it when that's exactly what we were talking about before you picked up the fucking phone.
Right. You won't let me talk to my son. I guess I can't talk to my son on Mother's Day. It makes me, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's so refreshing just to hear people call out the mechanics of the show. And yeah,
I would think, you know, it's just like being at any workplace. If you're suddenly taking calls, it's not about what's currently going on in the workplace, you know.
Right.
It's get off your phone.
Right.
We're trying to like have a scene here. We're trying to like have a moment here, and you know, you're just
derailing it.
Yes,
for sure.
Very much so. No, I'm glad that was brought out.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Refreshing. So, well, then this is the end of Salt Lake for this season.
Well, there's more.
There's more.
Angie and Lisa got to a good place.
There's more. Yes, they did, I guess.
They did. They're going to move forward, maybe.
But you don't believe that for 1 minute.
Well, when Lisa says, I'm never going to bring back up the past, honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
You're bringing it up the first chance you get.
Like, beyond the first. Like, you're going to say something on Twitter.
Has she already, is what I'm wondering. Maybe that's why she's so active in our comment section. Just make sure she doesn't end up in Angie's.
Lisa is busy.
Yeah.
Like, she and Todd are into the show. I love a rewatch.
She and Todd should do a podcast, a rewatch podcast together. Come on.
Where she explains the show to him.
I'd watch that. I'd listen.
This is what I was feeling. This is what I was wearing.
And he'd be like, I just don't understand it. Why you'd care?
Oh my God, Lisa Todd podcast.
That'd be really nice. I'd like that.
Tindies and Todd.
Did you say titties and Todd?
Tindies and Todd.
Thank God. Sorry.
When these tindies are top tier, as Lisa Barlow told us in our
Let
comments.
us know specifically. Earning that Wendy's money.
We should print that out and like frame it or like put it somewhere.
Maybe we should do that with the lower section here.
Yes.
I'm going to get the other blue squares to put down here.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done at the start of season 3 is make
Yes.
sure there's a nice, maybe I'll do that this next
A nice,
episode.
yes.
Nice new change. So you can tell from season to season that we've changed.
Right.
So we might get a new couch up here, or our old
Right.
couch.
We might.
We gotta measure that later.
Yeah.
Buying new furniture is tough, y'all.
That's...
But yeah, I guess that Lisa Angie thing, that was nice.
And then they all had moments of something.
And then they toasted with baklava.
Something's in my eye. It's not a cry. It's not a cry.
You're not crying.
My eye's just tired and dry. Yes, they had a moment and spoke about what they learned this season.
Some of that learning was some bullshit. I think Britney's particular.
Patience.
Yeah. Okay.
Intake. Patience.
Yeah.
Knowing who you are.
The way you make it sound like it's a Calvin Klein cologne commercial.
I was more so like that
Patience.
SNL skit.
Oh.
Sarusky.
We're not whores anymore.
Not yet.
So we're not porn stars anymore.
I like whores.
Well,
You're a whore who fucked half of New York.
since we're being explicit, let's just go ahead and do that. I think we've nailed all the salient points.
Yes.
Do we have anything else on this one?
No, I think it was a great. Usually, or sometimes they run out of gas by the time they get to part 3 of
Like
Reunion.
we're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's late, y'all.
No, we're a hybrid. We got. Yeah, we're cycling. So I'm glad that it felt like the best part of the reunion for me, and it really got real. And
Other than the slowness of the Bronwyn points, like that's I felt like they were really stretching things out, but giving it the silence that I think maybe it deserved a little bit. Just there's a lot of dead air of them like staring at each other. I said that about Todd.
a lot of stares. Yeah,
But yeah, other than that, I think this is a really good episode.
Alexis and Heather at the end. It's Bronwyn. Good job.
Oh, I'm going to say it. I think Heather needs to get her teeth. Her teeth are really gigantic. I know we don't bring up looks, but I feel like she had those veneers put in, and I think her face has changed in a way that I think she might need to revisit that.
I think Heather's beautiful, and
I think she's beautiful as well. I'm just saying that like the teeth are overwhelming. They're getting there. Says the guy with, chiclet teeth. But anyway.
I'm not talking about teeth anymore tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's where the kerfuffle started. So I love you.
Me too.
Till next time.
Till next time.